the Oklahoma Newsroom, this is the Thunder Update. I'm Jenni Carlson here with Barry Tramel. Barry, we found out just a little bit ago the Thunder has fired Scott Brooks after 6+ seasons as their head coach. Surprise?
No, I don't think anybody's too surprised. When we first heard the word last week that Brooks' fate was a little bit in question, we thought, no, he probably will survive. But the longer this went, it became apparent that Sam Presti was getting pretty serious. You don't let a guy twist in the wind that long if there's not something brewing. So I think most people thought this was going to happen.
The Thunder said in a statement that this was not a result of this last season, which obviously ended without the Thunder getting into the playoffs after just myriad injuries. What did it come down to in your mind?
Well, I mean, I sort of believe Sam when he said that. I think it really was just a case of the Thunder thinking, we need to make a change for change's sake. It's time to, sort of give this roster and this organization a bolt, whether it's a new blood, a new voice, whatever picture you want to paint on it. But just the idea that it's a little bit of a stagnant situation. Now, Scott Brooks' performance, I think, was very good. In the playoffs, the Thunder's been a very, very competitive team, more than competitive. They've been an outstanding playoff team. When they've been defeated in the last 2 years, it's been with injury situations. So Scott Brooks has an incredible resume, but Sam Presti apparently believes that it's just time for a change.
Was this the right move? Did the Thunder make the right move firing a guy that had a winning percentage as high as Scott Brooks did? You even chronicled that, you mentioned the playoff success. Really the only guy that can come close to the success in winning series is Greg Popovich, and we know how good a team he coaches. Is this the right move?
Well, I don't think there's no way of knowing. We'll see how it works out. But I will say this, the chances of the Thunder falling back are greater than the chances of the Thunder rising from where they've been, because there's not a lot of room to improve on. They've been on the cusp of championships. We've seen mediocrity up close. Everybody has. There's an abyss below the Thunder. However, NBA history is littered with franchises that had an elite roster and made a coaching change, and it paid off. 9 coaches since 1956 have won an NBA title in their first year with the franchise. That's a big number. So I think Sam Presti's thinking, you know what, we just need to get over the hump. Maybe a new voice is something that can do it.
Well, winning a championship will be the desire of this franchise in the last year of Kevin Durant's contract. What's the fingerprints on a coach that's the right coach for the Thunder? We've heard a lot of names. Billy Donovan, the Florida coach. Obviously, Kevin Ollie, the former Thunder player, now the UConn coach. Tom Thibodeau, who's currently coaching the Chicago Bulls, at least until they are out of the playoffs. Are any of those names, or is it more? Do you look at more of a blueprint of the type of coach that this team should go after?
Well, when you've got a roster like the Thunder has, there's clearly a couple of things you have to think about. One is the relationship with the players. Who can have the ear of Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant, not just for this season, but who can develop a relationship so that they will want to remain and sign on long-term for the Thunder. That's number one. But number two is the Thunder's got to get back to a defensive mentality. This team lost its defensive mentality, and frankly, it goes beyond the injury to Serge Ibaka, which was devastating to this team. He missed the last 18 games. This team is going to have good offense. When you got Durant, when you've got Westbrook, your offense is sort of taken care of. But if you don't play the big-time defense, you're not going deep into the playoffs. So those two things. One is the relationship, but also the ability to bring big-time defense back to the Thunder. Scotty Brooks provided that for a good chunk of his tenure here, but not down the stretch.
You got a name?
I think clearly to me, Kevin Ollie remains the favorite. However, I've got a dark horse, Mike Malone, fired by the Sacramento Kings because they're foolish in Sacramento, had a winning record when they fired him. Of course, they fell off the table when he was gone. Very good coach. Keep an eye on him.
I've got 2 names for you. Chip England, an assistant with the Spurs. We know Sam Presti's long stay with the Spurs. He knows Chip England. England, a Duke former player, has been in the mix for jobs, never got a job, still with Greg Popovich. Keep your eye on him. But I'd also keep your eye on Mark Jackson. You talk about defense. We've talked about this in other areas. Mark Jackson got those Warriors to start playing defense. Obviously, a lot of credit's gone to Steve Kerr, Ron Adams, who are now out there in the Bay Area, but Mark Jackson started that defensive turnaround. Those are a couple names I like as the Thunder moves forward. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.